Okay, so we scheduled some jobs and we've done some basic work in the scheduling interface. Now I want to show you just a couple of tips and tricks to make your life a lot easier. So first let's talk about the queue. This has been easy so far. I only ever queued 1 or 2 jobs at a time, but let's imagine we've got 100 jobs in a queue. Well, we have some controls here to make it easier to work with. So I can sort my queue by the newest job, the oldest job, the longest or shortest job. I can filter it by the type of job or who created it. If I hit this button that says Mine, it'll only show me jobs I created. And then finally I have the search field I can use where I can search by a city or a state or a zip, customer name, notes, a job type, anything like that I can search for to find a very specific job or a group of jobs that I need to find. We also have this pin area up at the top, so I can pin a job by clicking on its menu and selecting Pin. And that puts it up here, and this doesn't manipulate the schedule at all. It just lets me keep a close eye on 1 or more jobs that are important to me. Maybe this customer's a VIP, and I want to keep a really close eye on this job, and you'll see as I go from day to day, my pin list stays the same, and any changes to this job will be reflected here in real time, so I can see this job being completed or failed, text checking in, and I can always drill into this job and look at it, and I can always use the menu on the job here to make any changes I need to. Okay, so the other thing we can do in here is look at multiple days. So right now we've been looking at this day by day. That's great if you're working on today or you want to schedule something tomorrow or next week Thursday or whatever the case may be. But what if I want to see what my schedule looks like over a week or a month? If you click this icon, we can go to multi-day view, and I'm going to look up to the 27th. I'm going to click view up here. And this now brings me into a list view where I see all of my jobs, and I can see the date they're scheduled for, the time they're scheduled for, the type of job, the customer, all that kind of stuff, the tech it's assigned to. I can still see my pin list in my queue, and I can filter these down by tech. I can filter them down by job type, and I can filter down by the job status. Has it been completed? Has it been successfully completed? Did it fail? That kind of thing. I can still play with these jobs in here, so I can still open this interface. I can open a menu and change the schedule. I can pin a job. I can check in, complete, all that kind of stuff. But this is just a way for you to see a much wider range of time. Let's go back to the single day view. And I want to talk a little bit about the map. So with this icon up here, I can toggle the map. And one of the nice things you can do here is if you work in dispatch and you're just working with jobs all day, you could open up 2 browsers on 2 separate screens. And by using this button, I could have the map full screen in one, and I could have the map hidden in the other. And if you have a lot of text, this gives you a really good view to look at all your jobs for the day in this scheduling view, as well as also seeing all the jobs in a geographical view. And because this is all real time, any change I make in a schedule will propagate on a map as soon as the changes are saved. And so it gives you a really good way to spread this out and see a lot of data at once. Can also get back into that list view on a single day by hitting this toggle list view button. And now I'm just looking at today's list. And the list view is the default view if you're using this on something like a phone. It's a lot more usable on a small screen, and so you'll see that if you log into Sonar and use this on your cell phone or on a tablet. So we've talked about a lot of ways to use this interface for schedulers, dispatchers, for people that are working in the office. But what about the techs in the field? You really don't want to come into this interface as a tech in the field and have to find yourself in the list, look at all the jobs. We just want a simple way of dealing with these jobs, and there's a couple of ways we can do that. Let's jump out of this interface. So one thing to note, first of all, if I go into my profile up here, is if you have under settings any kind of calendar integration set up, and we can support an iCal calendar, we can do a CalDAV calendar, and we can also do Google Calendar. Any jobs that you assign to a tech will automatically get pushed into their calendar. So if you have a calendar on your phone, you can quickly see all the jobs for the day, and I'll have the address on there and the notes and all that kind of thing. You can also see a list of jobs in your profile, but there's an even quicker way to do this. If I open up my personal menu here and go to jobs, I'll see my jobs for today, and then I'll also see a breakdown underneath of today and all the days into the future. It goes out 7 days. And so I can quickly see what I need to do today as well as what's coming up tomorrow and the day after and next week and that kind of thing. So let's talk about the workflow for a tech. There's a couple of things you can do here. If you work with paper work orders, you can click this work orders button and it'll download a PDF of all the work orders for today for you, and you can print those out, take them out in a field, and they'll list out where you need to go, what you need to do, the services that'll be applied, and you can collect a customer signature and all that kind of stuff if you want to do it. If we're doing this all electronically, there's a few steps we can go through when we're working on our jobs, and what you would want to do as a tech in the field. So I'm going to go out and do Leon Ryan first. I'm due there at 9 a.m. So I can open this up, I can see where I need to go, and if I was to open this on a phone, there'll be a little link under here that will automatically open my mapping software on my phone so I can get GPS directions over to the customer. I can see the tasks I need to do, I can see the services that are going to be added, I can see when it's scheduled for, any notes, all that kind of thing. So when I get on site, I'd come in here and I would check into my job. So I'd open up the menu, go to check in, and I'm the user checking in. And what that's going to do on the job is show an icon of my face that I'm there on site and I'm starting work. And if we were to go into the schedule, let's jump in there quick and I'll show you. This will also show up on the job in the schedule. So now my dispatch group knows, okay, Simon's on site and he's beginning this install. So I work through my install, I do the things I need to do. I could go into the account, add the equipment that's needed, and work through whatever my workflow is, and then when I'm done with the job, I'm going to complete it. So I'm either going to complete a job successfully or I'm going to fail the job, and if you remember when we set up the job types, there were different things that were going to happen to the account based on whether or not it was successful or a failure. So let's go ahead and complete this job. So here are my tasks I need to do. I'm going to say, okay, I did both those things and I've recorded them on the customer's account. And now I can successfully complete the job, and it's telling me that when I complete this job successfully, any of those success triggers set up on the job type are going to fire. And I can put some notes in here like install went smoothly. I'm going to go ahead and complete that. And now that my job's complete, it's turned green. I've got a check mark. It's green and checked in here. And now this job's locked. I can't move it anymore. I'm trying to drag it. It won't let me because it's done. It's over. That one's completed. So now, okay, I'm done with that one. Let's move into the next one. Where is it? Here's where it is. I could open up my GPS, move on to the next one, and that's going to be my whole process. I'm going to get to the job. I'm going to check in. And then I'm going to do all the work I need to do. And then I'm going to complete it. And it's either going to be success or failure. And all of those success and failure events are going to trigger. So for tech, this is pretty easy, right? You're going to be able to do all of this from your phone. We've automated being able to bring up the GPS and do all of your directions you need to do, and then all you need to do when you're on site, check in, complete. So I can move into my last job. I'm going to check into this one. I show up on the job. And then I'm going to fail this one as well. And say same thing. In no line of sight. And that's really all the techs need to do. Now I can see what my schedule looks like. So now back in the office, whatever processes I run through, if you recall when we created these installs, they were going to put a ticket into that install group. I know there's 2 failures, there's been 1 success, and I can do whatever needs to be done as part of that. And all of that automation we built to automatically activate the account, or put the account status in a failed install and create a ticket, and that kind of thing has all been triggered. So there's a quick run through the scheduling system. Hopefully you enjoyed these videos. If there's any questions or further things you'd like to see, we'd love to hear your feedback on our forum or by email. So I hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for the next ones.